For the past several years, community leaders and business people have been trying to realize the potential for turning a main street in Jamaica Plain into a hub for Latin culture, sometimes called the Latin Quarter. The newest effort is a funding campaign for a social cafe in Mozart Park to go along with live theater shows in collaboration with the ensemble Escena Latina Teatro. To tell us about the project is the executive director of Hyde Square, Jackson Square, Main Street, Gerald Robbins, and also with us is the artistic director at Escena Latina Teatro, Juan. Paniagua. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
First of all, I want to start with Gerald here about this whole idea about the Latin Quarter in Hyde Square, Jackson Square. Some people know about this already, but to explain, what's going on with this?
Well, it's traditionally the place where Latinos in large numbers came into. There was a pocket of folks who came in the 40s and 50s, I think, in the South End, and they migrated to Jamaica Plain in the mid-60s. Cubans and then Puerto Ricans, followed by Dominicans. So it's always had a large number of Latinos in the neighborhood, and it's always been kind of the heart of Latino culture in Boston, at least through the 2000s or so.
Juan, to talk about what you've been doing performances in this area since 2013. Tell us a little bit about the kind of works that you're doing.
Yes, so the goal of our organization is basically to promote theater in Spanish because we feel that it's a way to promote the culture and the traditions and hopefully elicit a better understanding or more complete understanding of what people from Latin American countries are. So the work that we've been doing is normally we select plays from different playwrights, mostly Latin American contemporary authors, and we put plays that are that vary from comedies to tragedies and all in between.
Gerald, what about the atmosphere of these performances? What's it like? I mean, because first you say a playground, you don't think of that as a theater, but what's it like?
Well, Mozart Park is a great pocket park. So it has playground in the front, it's got some swings in the back, and also a basketball court. And they have this really nice concrete stage that we use that to have the performance at. And just being able to sit and watch a play and laugh, Spanish-speaking folks and non-Spanish-speaking folks to laugh at the same jokes, and watching the sunset as it goes down and also the moon come up is really special.
Juan, what's that like for you? Because you're in a theater, you have a lot of people, they know the literature and everything, and you come into a neighborhood like this, and for some of them, even if they speak Spanish as their first language, it might be entirely new.
Yes, I mean, we find that for many folks, this is a first encounter with a live theater or a live performance of this nature. We feel like we fulfill an important role. Also, one of the challenges that we have always faced is how we can transmit this to people that not necessarily speak Spanish. So we feel like in the past few years we have made a good effort to try to bridge that gap or that lack of, no, I would not say lack, but so we try to provide subtitles in English so people can basically enjoy equally, and it takes a little bit more effort, but if people are truly willing to experience something that is foreign to them, we feel that we have accomplished a good balance in that respect.
Gerald, that's the theater, but you want to, I guess, precede this with a social cafe at the park. What do you have in mind exactly?
We bring in some music on certain selective nights, so live music from local artists, Latin jazz usually, and then we also have local restaurants that provide food to patrons who come, and we also have some food stores that provide snacks and drinks and paper goods and whatnot too. And it's just an opportunity to be able to sit in a park and have dinner before a show and meet your neighbors and have a good time.
What does that mean for businesses around this?
Well, it's important for the businesses to be there to be able to connect with the market that's around them, and also connect with folks who are coming to visit to enjoy the neighborhood. Who might come in, a few times a year that say, "Hey, oh, that was really great food at that restaurant. I want to go back there." We've had those comments before in the past when people are like, "That was amazing. I'd like to kind of go back there."
This is BNN News. We're talking with Gerald Robbins from Hyde Square, Jackson Square, Main Street, and Juan Paniagua from Escena Latina Teatro. Juan, I guess what you're also doing here is that you're introducing a culture to kids growing up in America. Maybe their parents are immigrants, and they haven't had a chance to get in contact with us. Don't you feel that's important for them?
Yes, I mean, that's a very interesting point that you touch upon, because while the original composition of the group was mostly people like me that have immigrated as an adult to the US and felt that this was a good connection for us back home, over the years it has evolved, and now basically most of the most committed people that we are working with are first generation immigrants. So coming from and it's been very interesting to realize that for some of these kids, this has opened a totally unknown dimension of the Latin American culture. One of our members, very important, fulfilling a very important role, Veronica, she was my student when she was in high school. And when I started talking to her about this and she got very involved in it, then she realized that her Latin heritage was much more than just the Dominican side of what she had grown up with, and that not necessarily fulfilled her very much. The kind of like this more partying and dance and reggaeton and some parts of the culture that she not necessarily connected completely, but then this opened to her and to other of her generation a dimension that they were not aware of. So they realized that it was much more than just that Dominican or Puerto Rican heritage that they had grown up with.
Gerald, the other thing is you decided to reach a little higher with this cafe and the funding. So explain the plan for the funding. What do you try? And you've got some progress so far to report, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a project that funders have looked highly at, and also the community. So we received some funding from the Boston Main Street Foundation, initial funding, which is $1,200. And our campaign is to raise $2,500 on top of that to get another $2,500 as match from the Main Street Foundation through the Patronicity crowdfunding source.
Now, there's a deadline involved here and also a way for people to help out, so maybe we should tell about that too, right?
Yep, our deadline is July 28th at midnight, or before midnight. And you can go to our website at hydejacksonsquare.org, Teatro del Parque, and it'll have all the details about the event and also the Patronicity fundraising campaign.
Thank you both very much, Gerald Robbins and Juan Paniagua. We'll have more news in just a moment.